Good evening. The October 5th, 2023 board meeting is now in session. Mrs. Medina, would you please do a roll call vote?
Mr. Ibarra?
Present.
Mrs. Haro? Present. Mr. Flores? Present. Ms. Dorino-Heda?
Present.
Mrs. Sandoval?
Present.
Mr. Fuentes?
Present.
Mrs. Flores?
Present.
Thank you very much. Item 1.2, renewal of Pledge of Allegiance. Mrs. Flores, would you lead us in that, please?
Please stand.
And Cynthia Bueno is available for Spanish-speaking persons needing assistance.
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Cynthia.
Muy buenas tardes a todos. Yo soy Cintia Bueno, soy recepcionista y traductora del distrito. Esta noche estaremos ofreciendo servicios de intérprete. Si alguien desea escuchar la reunión completamente en español simultáneamente, puede encontrarme en la mesa trasera, donde pueden adquirir los dispositivos que pueden escucharlo al mismo tiempo. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much. Our next item is the adoption of the October 5th, 2023 agenda. I'll ask for a motion to adopt the agenda with the following amendments. Withdraw action item 7.30, approval of renaming of Colton Adult School to CJUSD Community Adult School. This item will be presented at a future board meeting for the board's consideration. Have amend closed session. Item 11.3, personnel public employee appointment, discipline dismissal release, Government Code 54957, addition of one certificated coach, varsity football assistant boys, addition of 8 classified coaches, cross-country assistant co-ed, head junior varsity basketball boys, head junior varsity softball girls, head varsity baseball boys, head varsity basketball boys, junior varsity football assistant boys, varsity football assistant boys 2, an addition of 4 volunteer coaches, baseball boys, soccer girls, wrestling co-ed. Could I have a motion, please? I have a motion by Mr. Flores and a second by Board Member Haro.
Mr. Fuentes.
Oh, sorry. I need to have my ears here. So I have a motion by Board Member Fuentes and seconded by Board Member Haro to adopt the agenda as recommended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Okay. So on a motion by Board Member Fuentes and Board Member Haro, and on a 7-0, the board adopted the agenda as recommended. Okay, thank you. Item 2.1, Bloomington High School. Principal Rahman, would you please go to the podium and introduce your students?
Good evening, Board President Dorino-Heda, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. It is my pleasure to introduce our Bloomington High School ASB members, Valerie Moreno, Angela Santana, and Brooke Sutherland, who will be presenting today on behalf of Bloomington High School.
Good evening, Board President Dorino-Heda, members of the school board, Superintendent Miranda, and members of the audience. My name is Valerie Moreno, and I'm the ASB president at Bloomington High School. Brooke Sutherland and Angela Santana join me this evening to shine a spotlight on our Bruin family. We are honored to share information about academics, athletics, and activities in Bruin country since our last visit in May. We hit the ground running with a very full calendar so far this school year. From heritage, awareness and prevention weeks, to goal setting for attendance and academic success, all the way to events where students are able to create memories. I would like to begin by sharing about BHS Academics. Our first event this school year was our freshman orientation. This day is spent welcoming and mentoring freshman students to help them feel more comfortable about the first year of high school experience. Link Crew continues to support the freshman class of 2027 with follow-up meetings during their PE class. This gives them a chance to ask their Link leader questions and to find out about upcoming events and activities. Our Link Crew does a great job advising our freshmen that helps them succeed and be involved during their 4 years at BHS. The first full week of school, students took the NWEA MAPS test that measures what students know and what they're ready to learn. In addition to gaining data to be used to inform instructional strategies for student academic achievement, we get to celebrate that our 10th and 11th grade math students showed the largest growth since the last testing in May. Another way we plan to use the data and help our students is by having all 9th and 10th grade students take the PSAT. These tests were administered this week. One of the tests was electronic and the other was administered in the traditional testing booklet and answer key document fashion. Since the test was taken so recently, we do not have the results yet. Another amazing thing our school offers is after-school tutoring before and after school. Students can visit different teachers for help on different subjects. Another way our students help our students is through the use of a program called Listen Wise. The aim of the program is to use listening to advance literacy and learning in all students. They have a collection of podcasts that teachers can use to create assignments that focuses on the listening skills. They can personalize the assignments to work in the best way that fits with their class and subject area. It even links to the assignments on Google Classroom. Back to School Night was filled with entertainment, information, and fellowship. Since the part of the purpose of this event is to showcase our programs on campus, we had performances from our cheer squad, folklorico dance team, and band and color guard. We had tacos, and many clubs came out to share about their club, recruit new members, and raise funds. Parents and guardians were able to visit classrooms as well, to meet teachers and learn about the classes their students is taking this year. This year, we also have been actively focusing on the attendance rate. Currently, we are at 91%. Wow! We're so close to reaching our goal of 95%. We want to say good job to our Bruins for showing that attendance matters. Since we know that senior year can be a bit overwhelming for many, we host 3 meetings each year for them. Our fall senior meeting was a success because students learned the importance of why they should follow the senior contract so they can participate in the great activities that await them this year. Some activities and events include powder puff football, the prom, senior celebration, and yearbook signing, and the highlight for many, grad night at Disneyland. We're still waiting to hear back from Disney as to when this event will take place. Right now, 10th grade AVID classes have been working in preparation for the college fair. They will host next week, October 13th, during lunchtime. During this event, they share what they learned about different colleges, institutions, in hopes of helping their peers choose a campus they may want to attend in the future. The COPS Pathway had a guest speaker and interactive lessons in Mrs. Gourlay's and Mr. Howard's classes. Mrs. Gourlay reported that it was a thrill to hear firsthand experiences and do some hands-on activities with Corporal Brambilia, who is the member of the Rialto Police Department and currently a patrol supervisor of the department's SWAT team. He's graduated from BHS and earned a bachelor's degree before entering the law enforcement. The capstone forensic students enjoyed him sharing about his career path and current work assignments. We also would like to share that our yearbook staff, under the guidance of Mr. Rochers, is capturing all of the moments for this year's edition of the Bruin Yearbook. As a matter of fact, they have already started designing the cover. Since it is a surprise, we cannot share any specifics. Each year, students anxiously await the reveal when the books are delivered in May. What we see and hear is very important. We can all agree. This year, we had the pleasure of adding a performing arts mural to our auditorium. Our theater teacher, Mrs. Richardson, and Mr. Duckworth, our choir director, were trained on how to use the new lighting and sound systems in our theater. Last night, the choir held its first concert. We also had 3 choir students audition for the all-state choir. We will get the results next week to see if Maria Vargas, Gethsemane Gonzalez, and Ashley Soto are chosen for this very honorable opportunity. Our art students painted the kindness buds this year and are very excited to show their work that will be seen with students all in our district elementary schools. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you what has been going on with the area of the academics at BHS. I now turn some time over to Brooke Sutherland, who will cover the sports segment of our presentation.
Good evening. As Valerie mentioned, my name is Brooke Sutherland, and I am the ASB Treasurer serving in BHS Student Leadership. I would like to begin sharing about our fall season. Fall sports get the spirit going with our girls volleyball, football, cross country, band and color guard, and sideline cheer. Girls volleyball just hosted their senior night game against Colton last week on Thursday. It was an intense game, and the girls swept Colton with a 3-0 game. They began league play this week, and we are excited to see how the rest of their season goes. Our boys football team had an amazing preseason with a record of 5-0. Our first league football game was last Friday. Unfortunately, we lost to Arroyo Valley. Immediately following our presentation tonight, we will be heading back to campus for our Pink Out football game against the Fontana Steelers. So far this season, we have had theme nights for each of our football games. As I just mentioned, tonight is a Pink Out theme to show support for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Other themed games we've had are Class Color Wars, Whiteout, and Blue Out. Tonight, Coach Castro is honoring our BHS staff with a meal as a thank you for supporting our student athletes. We are very proud of our cross-country team as well. So far, they have 2 league meets under their belt. The most popular meet is the Woodbridge Classic, and the members on our team look forward to it each year. Go cross-country! Our marching band has been busy with preparations for their field show and competition season. This year, their show is called Altered. It is about the different psychological states of mind. Their first performance will be on October 14th at Ayala High School. They are performing all over California and hoping to compete at the championship final again this year. The Winter Drumline and Winter Color Guard are now forming for competition next semester. The kids are working hard and learning faster than ever before. The cheer squad has been working hard as they support the football team at every game. They performed cheer routines for our first home game and homecoming spirit rally. They worked really hard to put together the homecoming routine by putting in extra practice hours. Good job to them. This week, cheer hosted their Cub clinics to teach cheers and a dance routine. Tonight, the little girls get to cheer and perform during the game and at halftime. We are excited to see what they have come up with. Each month in Bruin Country, Bloomington Athletics selects students from our sports teams and honors them as Athlete of the Month. This year's August Athletes of the Month are Jada Garcia for volleyball, Isaac Parga for cross country, Valerie Moreno for cheer, and Andrew Padron for football. I will now turn the remainder of the presentation over to Angela Santana for the activities segment.
Good evening. I am Angela Santana, and this year's ASB Vice President, and I also get to serve as the Class of 2024 Vice President. I am happy to return this evening. I would like to start off with a report about our Week of Welcome. I will be talking about activities. I would start off about Week of Welcome. The end of summer doesn't have to be a bummer. We had dress-up days to show our spirit. When we plan our dress-up days, we consider the theme, inclusivity, connectedness, and fun. Monday, we had a sneaker wars where students wore their favorite sneaker brand. Tuesday was sandals versus Crocs. Crocs are a very popular item of footwear, so it was a great opportunity to allow Bruins to show off their favorite pair. Wednesday was sunglasses versus floaties. Thursday was Hi Barbie, Hi Ken, following a popular movie that just came out, Barbie. Each Friday of the school year, we have Bruin Gear Day. Students were encouraged to wear their class colors if they didn't have any Bruin gear. We continued this tradition of hosting Senior Sunrise in the morning on Friday. Seniors brought snacks, blankets to stay warm, and hung out at the stadium field as they watched the sun come up for their final year at BHS. Throughout the week, we had lunchtime activities and made sure to have the ever-popular watermelon eating contest. The students at BHS like to participate in games that involve food, so we try to include that as often as possible. Since that week, we had the NWEA map testing. The activities were a nice way to decompress each day. Annually, we invite all of our clubs to host an information table during lunch to recruit new members and share what their club offers. Our basketball club had the best interactive booth, and our Best Buddies Club had the friendliest. The event was a hit and helped students discover the many ways they can be involved through clubs. It also got students thinking about clubs they wish to start and reactivate. We now have a Dungeons & Dragons club and an esports club. We already shared a little bit about our link crew, but is it important to share about the freshman tailgate? This is an opportunity for a freshman class of 2027 to build class pride and interact with their classmates through games, food, and of course, fun at the football game. Students who attended the tailgate also got a free ticket to the football game. Student leadership plans and hosts spirit rallies 4 times a year. Our first rally was Class Color Wars. Students dressed up in their class colors, waved class-colored flags, and foam light sticks. We had many students raving about the decorations and chants, giving us the opportunity to connect with each other. The class yell is always everyone's favorite. It is hard to believe that we have already had homecoming week. Our theme this year was Blast Off. Blast Off Bruins, the greatest homecoming in the galaxy. Throughout the week, we were on a mission with our dress-up days, lunchtime activities, rally, and football game. Our dress-up days were Blackout Monday, Anything But a Backpack Tuesday, and Teacher-Student Dress-Up Swap Wednesday. We hosted our spirit rally on Thursday, so we dressed in neon colors to add the glow-in-the-dark effect. Each class decorated their student section in the gym to fit the outer space theme. Everything from aliens to spaceships to space-themed movies and characters. A highlight of this rally was a great performance from one of our Bruin singers, Maria Vargas. The whole gym lit up because we were waving our flag, our cell phones, flashlights back and forth in support of the talent. The senior class had a fundraiser called Soca Senior. Students were able to buy a bucket filled with water and they poured it over the seniors of their choice. Seniors also sold Cane's chicken strips meals during the football game and made over $1,000 for their class fund. When Friday finally arrived, we wore Bruin gear during the school day and encouraged Bruin fans to wear blue at the game. During halftime, we introduced all our royalty nominees, their family members of choice, and a staff member escort. Each year, we invite the past year's court members to help crown our winners. It was such a great moment to have BHS alumni in the attendance to help with the coronation ceremony and root on our football team. On Saturday was our dance. Our ASB leaders woke up bright and early to prepare our multi-purpose room to set up decorations, karaoke, and tables. At noon, we were able to head home to get ready for the dance. Luckily, we get to enjoy the evening since we have staff members to help out check-in, supervision, running karaoke, and passing out glow sticks to everyone. Student leaders remain after the end of the dance to clean up the NPR so it's ready for students' breakfast. Our vision come to life, and all the smiles on everyone's faces as they dance the night away. Every Tuesday in the month of September, we had students wear yellow or gold in support of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. For morning announcements, we shared information about childhood cancer to educate Bruins. We shared that childhood cancer is not linked to any lifestyle factors and that it affects all races, genders, and socioeconomic groups. We also decorated the trees in our courtyard with yellow ribbons. Our wellness center hosted suicide prevention activities, gave out information during lunch. This allowed for students to learn about the warning signs to help prevent suicide. Stop the Stigma and other informative posters were hung around campus to raise awareness. This is in hopes for Bruins to keep in the forefront of their minds suicide prevention. We finished off the busiest month of the year so far with Hispanic Heritage Week. In our announcements, thanks to our Spanish department, we were able to play music by Hispanic artists and had dress-up days and activities all week. Monday, we had booths versus huaraches. The colorful shoes were great to see staff and students alike. During lunch, we had an elote eating contest. We kept things rolling with the rest of the week with Colores y Cultura Day, Loteria Day, Soccer Jersey Day, and Quince Day. Friday was the biggest celebration of the week. We gave out free agua frescas, Bruin Folclórico performed, and Maria Vargas shared a voice with us once again. Mr. Ayala and the Folclórico Club decorated the staging area with piñatas, papeles, and tissue flowers. When we have a chance to collaborate with clubs and departments and staff members for a celebration, it makes extra for special memories. We thank you for the opportunity to share all things Bruin and to speak to everyone in attendance this evening. Here are some upcoming events that we invite you to attend. Thank you for having us this evening. Now we welcome any comments or questions.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful. Comments by my board members? Mr. Fuentes.
Like always, you guys did an awesome job. Great job. Love to see all the activities that are going on at Bloomington High School, from the games to all the dances, all the stuff that's coming up, the yearbook. Ms. Roman knows because we ended up singing karaoke at the end. So we ended up having a lot of fun with the kids that evening. I know Ms. Wright too was there. So it was a fun homecoming. It was a homecoming week that was very exciting. So once again, ladies, thank you very much for the presentation, for sharing everything that's going on. Ms. Wright, Ms. Roman, thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Fuentes. Other comments? Mr. Ibarra.
Thank you, Joanne. Excellent job, ladies. Professional in what you had to say about your individual sections and topics. So I just want to applaud you. And there's a lot of wonderful things happening there at Bloomington High School. A lot of it can be contributed to you three ladies and those who work with you, because you are the heart of Bloomington as far as activities, events, and you're the ones who help make the students participate and enjoy their times there at Bloomington High School. So I'm very familiar with ASB, and I know that it's exciting to do what you're doing. And always remember, you're serving, all the students of that high school. So excellent job. Several things I just want to mention. I just want to take my hat off to you ladies, the principal, Roman, 90% of attendance, 91% of attendance to be, and still working toward 95%. Excellent start. And we were talking about that not too long ago here, as far as taking a look at what would it take for us to improve our attendance. And a lot of what you mentioned in your report today are things that will draw many of the students back to school as well. So just my hats off to all three of you and those others that are not here that represent your ASB group. I like the idea and of the tutoring aspect of your academics. And I think that, and I'll refer to our superintendent at this point, tutoring individuals who are providing that service for our students need to be acknowledged, because it's a service that I think that a lot of students will thrive once receiving that. And I think that I would love, and with the graces of the rest of the board members, for us to send some type of letter of acknowledgement to those individual teachers who are providing the tutoring on behalf of the Board of Education, and let them know how much we totally appreciate their efforts and time and dedication to help our students achieve and move forward with their academic careers. So that'd be something I think that I would like to make sure that all the board would get behind, and something that I think we need to do, because I know that they are the unsung heroes at some times, and that we need to just acknowledge and let them know that we are aware of what they're doing and that we appreciate what they're doing. So thank you for that. And just want to mention, you know, athletics. You guys are having a pretty good football season, except for last week, I know, but it happens. But it's exciting. That's all part of the experience. And remember, all the experiences that all three of you will gather throughout your 4 years at Bloomington High School, they will help guide you in the future to all the directions and all the things that you're going to choose to do. So experience as much as you can, draw as many students as you can with you, because ASB kind of brings everybody along for the ride. And as they start getting involved and starting to like what's happening, I mean, mariachis, you know, I would be in line for that elote competition. Hey, you know, agua fresca, yeah, I'll be there. You know, those type of events make a difference to a lot of students, because we're talking about, and other events, cultural stuff that is meaningful to them. So, you know, really, really appreciate your efforts behind all that as well. Just one last comment that I want to make. I noticed that upcoming events, I see a haunted maze. Yeah. Can any one of you tell me what that's going to be like?
So Mr. Sutherland hosts this meeting and this maze, and it is from Link Crew. And this maze is hosted through, I believe, that whole week of Halloween. And it starts off with freshmen get in for free after school, which is like a fundraiser to like funds for Link Crew. And it's such a hit because it goes, you actually get scared. Like I get scared.
Anything else you want to add to that? No?
No, you guys should come experience it.
And you know what? One of the things that I enjoy is I like going to haunted houses and mazes. I've been to all the major ones, you know, in the United States. So when I saw that, it kind of just popped out and said, oh, you know, might want to go check that out. So
We'll go, Mr. Ibarra.
okay.
And you can hold my hand and I'll hold yours.
See who runs out first, huh? Okay, thank you, Joanne. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Ms. Ibarra.
I just want to thank you all for coming and telling us all the wonderful things that are happening in Bruin Country. And when I'm looking at these and I'm seeing, you know, blackout and the neon, dressed neon, and then the wonderful photos, and I saw the videos also on social media of the rally, the fall rally, all the wonderful things you're doing for other students in the school. What you're doing is creating memories, not just for yourself, but for them. And those are memories that you'll never forget them. You know, you'll be older, and you'll remember those things and what they meant to you. And they'll also mean something to you because you participated in making them happen for others. So I just want to thank you for all you're doing, not just for your senior class, but for all of the classes at Bloomington High School. And we won't keep you because we know you have a game to get to. So thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Haro. Any others? I just want to tell you that I totally agree with everything that's been said here tonight. Getting up in public speaking is really difficult. And to do it at a young age and do such a great job, you're working very hard on that, and that will help you a great deal in the future and encourage other people to give it a try. You did an amazing job. You covered so many things. I don't think there's one student at your school that wouldn't be able to say, I'm interested in doing at least one of those things. And your attendance improvement probably is evidence of that. So we're very grateful that you're working as hard as you are. I know how hard ASB leadership works. I thank Ms. Wright and Mrs. Rahman for having the girls women here tonight to present this to us. And I'm as close to blue and gold as I can be. I only remember that because my high school was blue and gold. But I have a little tiny Bruin that will be with you tonight at the football game. My 6-year-old great-granddaughter, who will be a Bruin at some point. My mom was and uncle was too. So have fun tonight. Thank you so much for being here. We did appreciate you. Did an amazing job. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to item 3.1, employee recognition, and we have Director Eric Enciso at the podium who will be introducing our folks tonight.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Board President Thorin Ojeda, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the community. My name is Eric Enciso. I'm Director of Human Resources on the classified side, and I'm representing the Human Resources Division to proudly recognize the hard work of some of our team members for the month of September on our Employee of the Month program. So first up is our classified member who we would like to celebrate. And when we call you up, please come on up and please bring those people that are behind you, helping you along your way, your supporters. So first up is going to be classified member Rebecca Persad, and giving her the recognition tonight is going to be Principal John Abbott, principal at Colton High School.
Thank you, Eric. Good evening, Board President Thorin Ojeda, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, Executive Cabinet, members of the audience, families, friends. I'm honored and privileged to serve as the principal of Colton High School. We know that we cannot do this work alone, and I'm surrounded by many great staff members and community members alike. And tonight, great privilege in honoring Rebecca here this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and begin to discuss why we are grateful to have her as a Yellow Jacket. We gather here this evening to recognize and celebrate the remarkable contributions of Rebecca, our outstanding instructional assistant to our special education students. Her unwavering commitment goes far beyond her official duties, making her the true cornerstone of our SDC Mod-Severe class. Rebecca has earned the title of the go-to person in special education class, actively participating in and facilitating various activities both within and outside of our campus. Her dedication extends beyond her regular classroom duties, where she consistently excels. In moments when it seemed impossible, Rebecca has exhibited an incredible ability to find innovative solutions, ensuring that our students fully participate. These events, ranging from the haunted classroom to the Possibilities Christmas party and the end of the year picnic, hold immense value for our students. Often limited in their ability to engage in extracurricular activities, Our students eagerly anticipate and thoroughly enjoy those experiences. It is through Rebecca's tireless support that these opportunities for creating lasting memories become a reality. It's important to note that none of these activities are obligatory, but Rebecca's genuine care for our students has transformed these events into cherished moments that leave a lasting impact. Today we celebrate her compassion, dedication, and the joy she has brought into the lives of our students. Rebecca's selflessness and commitment to our special education community are truly inspiring. She has touched the hearts of many, and we thank her for being the driving force behind these meaningful experiences that enrich the lives of our students. For her exceptional contributions and the remarkable difference she makes in the lives of our students, let us all join in applauding and celebrating Rebecca.
I'd just like to say that I am very grateful for this award. I do love my students. I love working at Colton High School, and I love just being able to make a difference in my students' lives. So I really do appreciate this. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Rebecca Prasad. Next up, we'll be moving on to our certificated member. Up next is Jacqueline Love, and she is a high school counselor at Washington High School, and honoring her this evening is Principal Sandy Torres from Washington High School.
Good evening, Board President, President Thorne Ojeda, board members, Superintendent Miranda, and members of the audience and everyone here. It is an honor and a privilege as principal of Washington High School to talk about Jackie Love, one of our two counselors at Washington High School. I have worked with her the past 2 years at Washington, and she always puts our students first, focusing on student achievement, equity, and wellness. Mrs. Love supports the whole child when working with students by understanding their unique needs, which often requires behavioral and mental health to be addressed before academic achievement. Mrs. Love has a master's degree in counseling from Loma Linda University, where she studied both professional clinical counseling and school counseling. We are fortunate to have a counselor with such specialized background to work with our students. Mrs. Love works closely with our in-person opportunity program and virtual independent study program, especially our secondary students, making sure they are enrolled in the courses that will help them graduate and meet A through G requirements. She also supports our students by planning activities such as Women's Equality Day and International Women's Day. These events provide our students a better understanding of what each of them are capable of achieving in their community and in our society. One of her colleagues shared, throughout the 6 years at Washington High School, Mrs. Love has consistently displayed immense patience, understanding, and unwavering commitment to our students. She undeniably lives up to her name, offering unconditional love and to support to each individual student she encounters. The time and effort she invests in our students is invaluable, leaving an everlasting impact on their lives. Fun fact, one of the things that I did not know when I started at Washington High School, that when Ms. Love was going through Loma Linda University, My daughter was a classmate of hers, and they finished the program together, so congratulations on that. What a small world. And with that, I want to congratulate Mrs. Love on her recognition as Employee of the Month for the Colton Joint Unified School District.
Well, thank you. Thank you to my beautiful family that came out to support and my amazing team here. Thank you. You know, I am honored to be taking this award. I love what I do. I love my students. I love my team. I wouldn't be able to do it without them. You know, I was thinking back on the day I got the phone call that I got this job. I was just overwhelmed with gratitude. I was on cloud 9, and I've always been told that gratitude is not just a feeling, it's an action word. So when you're grateful for something, you take care of it and you give it your all. And I mean, to be awarded for what I love to do is just the cherry on top. So thank you.
A final round of applause for Ms. Jackie Love. Okay, our last participant for the day is under the management category, and his name is Victor Jimenez. Unfortunately, as much as I know, he was unable to make it tonight, so we hope to make the recognition for him at the next meeting on October 19th. I'm excited because I will be the one reading the essay for him, and I'm very excited to give that to him. But I did want to take an opportunity to say thank you to the committee who gives their time to make these hard selections and have the dialogues of who to celebrate. So I will share those names of the committee members, and then maybe we could give them a round of applause at the end. On the committee, we have Javina Para from Facilities, Connie Barella from Bloomington High School, Lisa Lennox from PPS, Linda Lopez from Bloomington High School, Brianna Hawkins from Joe Baca Middle School, Kathy Walk from PPS, Angel Castro, Bloomington High School, Sherry Frund, Terrace View, Tabrisha Lang, McKinley, Louis Pacheco from M&O, and Debbie Villegas from Colton High School. Thank you to them for their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Enciso. Our next item is 4.1, Colton School Employees Association Sunshine Proposal for Colton Joint Unified School District. Opening the public hearing, I'll invite CSEA to present the Sunshine Proposal.
Thank you. Good evening, Board President Joanne Thorne-Ojeda, esteemed board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, Executive Cabinet, and community members with us this evening. My name is John White. I'm a senior mechanic at the Transportation Department, and it is my distinct honor and pleasure to serve my fellow CSEA members as lead negotiator for the 2023-2024 negotiation session. Looking forward to continue successful negotiations with Dr. Dade, Eric and Ciso, and their very talented team. We've built a great relationship with them over the last several years. So looking forward to that. California School Employees Association and its Colton chapter number 244, 2023-2024 reopener negotiation sunshine proposal. The CSEA and its chapter 244 present our initial proposal to negotiate 2023-2024 reopeners. CSEA desires to alter and/or amend the following articles as indicated and presents our proposal for public discussion in accordance with Government Code 3547 as follows. Article 6, compensation. CSEA will propose language to attract and retain the best qualified professional classified staff by improving an existing salary structure and offer an incentive for continued and long-term employment with the Colton Joint Unified School District. Article 7, salary classification. CSEA will propose language to update and clarify the job review process. Article 9, hours. CSEA will propose language to enhance the existing incentive for classified staff to return, come to work, and provide support to the district outside of their normal work hours, adjust overtime offerings to include double time, modify temporary assignments to reflect all time worked, and clearly define rest periods. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is now closed. Item 5.1, we are moving public comment. For public comment, each speaker will be invited to the podium and should begin by stating his or her name and residing city. Board Bylaw 9323 states that individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board shall limit the total for time for public input on each item to 15 minutes. With board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation, depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. The president may take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that additional persons speak only if they have something new to add. I'll call Lisa Villa first.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Villa, and I'm from Colton. I still have not received a response from any of you in regards to moving forward with the financial audit of the Colton High football boosters. Our community needs a board who is empathetic and listens to the opinions and the facts that the people of our community bring forward, not just the people that you care about. We need to make an example of the football booster situation to let people know that they no longer can take advantage of our Colton sports. I'm going to quote something from the audit that was recently conducted of the boosters. Quote, we're not engaged to perform a financial audit with which the objective would be to express an opinion on the specific elements, accounts, or items. Accordingly, we did not express such an opinion. Had we performed additional procedures, other matters might have come to our attention that would have been reported to you. Unquote. I am once again asking for your assistance in moving forward with the financial audit. You have the power to make that happen. I know the power that you carry. You literally moved the whole homecoming parade, a whole football game, and a whole homecoming dance without any regards for my Colton community or their feelings. It was about your convenience. So we all know what you're capable of. Just as I know you had the power to intervene when I was getting harassed and singled out, and you didn't. I was even harassed on the day of my son and grandson's graduation. I also was not allowed to enjoy being the booster president in peace. I was the booster president for literally 4 months. And in that 4 months alone, I was immediately met with heat and resistance because I started asking questions, because I have a target on my back. So I wanted complete transparency. I asked questions hundreds of times. I asked for transparency, but no one would give me answers. I documented the entire season, and meanwhile, inspired and motivated our Yellow Jackets to win. I wanted our football Yellow Jackets to win, and they did. They gave us a great Colton football season. Colton football is the top dog of all our Colton sports. And when they win, it trickles down to everything because our community gets filled with that Colton pride, and they all want to win, no matter what area it is in. I will not forget that I was not able to enjoy my son and grandson's senior year because you allowed me to be transferred out of personal vindictiveness, all because I chose to stand up for my whole Colton community, not just my friends. Please help me move forward with a financial audit of the Colton High football boosters so that we can make a stand once and for all and that we will no longer tolerate theft, fraud, embezzlement, and so forth. I have an official accountant who is willing to donate their services and do a financial audit, but they need access to the account. What is the big secret? Why are we not allowed to see anything? We in the community should be allowed to see anything and everything of any school in the district that involves the money that we donate. Please, let's meet, let's have a conversation. It doesn't matter about our feelings towards each other. We need to do what's right and put our feelings aside and do what's best for my Colton community. Thank you.
Next item, 6.1, Ethnic Studies, Educational Services Division. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Peterson, will you introduce your staff?
Good evening, Board President Thoreen Ojeda, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, members of the audience and the community. Tonight, Educational Services has two presentations. The first one, Dr. Mooney and I will present on our 2024 graduations. And then the second one, Dr. Mooney gets to do double duty and present with our CPS curriculum program specialist, Lauren Tyler, on our ethnic studies work that we are embarking on. And so to start tonight, we are going to present on our 2024 high school graduations and seek guidance from the board or consensus on the board on moving forward. And so I think I have the slide here. So just a quick overview. These are our 2024 graduation and promotion ceremonies. You notice on the left the school sites. They range all of our high schools and then our middle school promotions from May 23rd until Friday, May 30th. And then the locations on the right, we did I will make one point on the middle school promotions. Those are at the high school stadiums, but those are the middle schools the dates for those. You'll notice the two, there you go. You notice the two that are highlighted, and the two that are highlighted have to be determined in the location, and that's what our presentation is on tonight. And so just a brief background for the past 6 years, our division submits dates to the 66ers organization to host two CJUSD graduation ceremonies. It's been Bloomington High School and Grand Terrace. Colton High School was there for 1 year while their stadium was being rebuilt. Last year, we were informed that our dates were not available, and so we had to kind of scramble at this time. We usually find out because of the baseball season in August or late August or early September whether or not our dates are available due to their games. And so, but we were able to pivot and host excellent graduation ceremonies at our high school sites and our 3 comprehensive sites last year. This year, we submitted Tuesday, May 28th for Grand Terrace High School and Wednesday, May 28th for Bloomington High School as options for what we are, as options to choose from if we are going back to the 66er Stadium. These dates were held by the stadium for us. They did notify us that they are available. And at the request of Dr. Miranda at that point, we did a survey at each of the high school sites of staff, students, and families to come up with a location preference from them so that we could provide as much information to the board. And so at this point, I would like to turn it over to Dr. Mooney to talk about the survey and the results.
Thank you, Dr. Peterson, and I'll try to be quick. So the impacted sites and the results of the survey. So again, Bloomington High School and Grand Terrace High School are the sites that we are looking at for some guidance from the board that are the 2 impacted sites for graduation this year. The survey results from Bloomington High School, 60% of the staff had selected Bloomington High School as the location, and the parent and students selected the 66er Stadium by 83%. At Grand Terrace High School, the staff, 88% of the staff wanted it at the high school, Grand Terrace High School. 75% of students and 63% of families preferred it at the 66er Stadium. So options for this year are: you can host the graduations at Bloomington High School and the Grand Terrace High School stadiums. Again, their capacity is around 4,200 at each of those stadiums. To host it at the high school stadiums, we're looking about an average cost, approximately $42,000 per graduation. Those were calculations from this past year with the cost of screens and the other fanfare that the schools have purchased. And the second option is to host it at the 66er Stadium with a capacity of about 5,000 on our dates of May 28th and the 29th, which are available. The projected cost per site range from about $30,000 to $35,000. That was the last phone call that I received from the 66ers as to what the pricing would be in that range.
So as we finalize this here, we are looking for direction from the board as to a consensus of whether to host it at 66er Stadium. If we do that, we'll come back at one of the following board meetings coming up with a contract with 66er Stadium, or host the graduation at the school site stadiums again, and then we will continue or start work on that for this year. And so I'd like to thank, first of all, I'd like to thank the high school principals for their assistance in doing this and all the work they put into graduations, as well as thanking Dr. Mooney for the work that he's done to secure the sites and put this presentation together. And I'd like to take any questions the board may have.
Mr. Flores.
Sure, thank you. Just a quick point of clarification, just on the costs again. I see on the slide the 66ers, sorry, San Manuel Stadium, let's call it that. San Manuel Stadium, they paid for the name, let's call it that. It's 30 to 35,000 per graduation?
And I believe they're giving us a little bit of discount because of what happened
Oh,
last year.
okay.
So
And what's the average cost to have it on campus? It's not listed on the slide.
30, around, yeah, 42.
To 42,
That
so it's
includes
actually-
fireworks, I think fireworks and all of what we did last year.
Okay, so a little more to have it on campus. Okay, thank you.
Pat? Oh, Israel, I'm sorry.
Quick question. At these, San Manuel, at the San Manuel Stadium, I know they charge for parking. Does that help offset for us? Do we get anything of that?
So they used to charge, I believe it was like $7 to $10, and the high schools would get a couple of dollars back on that. I believe the parking is thrown into
So they're not going to charge for parking if we do
Yeah,
it at the...
unless we decide for a fundraiser for the school site.
Oh, okay, because I just wanted to, I'm kind of thinking here, if those additional monies we can use to cover for costs.
And one of the differences too is in the past, it was just, we brought our chairs, our stage and all of that to that. And so it was only around $15,000 to $20,000 to host there. Now they're providing that because of all of the wear and tear of bringing sets and removing them from all the schools that graduate there. So they're providing all of that. So we don't have to do that.
And that'll cover our safety, overtime and all of that for safety, or is that
No,
another?
the overtime
another
cost
line?
is not part of it. so.
Okay, okay. So, yeah, I was going to say, so we have a contract with San Marino
Yeah,
PD.
it does include 5 security staff for the stadium, but we usually bring, it does not include the cost of our employees that we bring.
And San Marino, we have a contract with San Marino Police Department also that comes out?
Usually we get that after when we make the decision, we'll start on those contracts.
So that's on
Sites
top
will
of the
start on that.
35,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to figure out, just trying to see what's going to better for us. I'm liking the 66ers, but, we'll see what the rest of the team says. Thank you.
Yeah, the cost for security is a no cost.
Yeah.
We offset each other.
Just to clarify, when we host at the campus, we have to contract with the local law enforcement jurisdiction for additional either way?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say that the 66er Stadium would be the best bet, because I know Grand Terrace has plenty of parking and everything went smooth at Grand Terrace last year. But if we're going to do it for one school, we should do it for the other, because overwhelmingly the numbers, I know the staff was preferring to do it at the site, but the parents and the students were all overwhelming to do it at the 66ers. And definitely Bloomington, because the parking there last year was the problem we knew was going to, we talked about a shuttle from Ruth O'Hara's, and we talked about all these things, and none of it happened. And so parents were paying $20 and $25 and being scalped by all the neighbors, letting them use their driveways and dirt roads and everything to park, because parking is horrendous. They were parking all the way down the streets. And when we can avoid that, and it's technically less money, it's a no-brainer.
Other comments? Dan?
No, I'll just add, thank you, Board President Thornhill Hayda. I'll just echo Board Member Haro's sentiment. I mean, this is one of those instances where the people have spoken, I think. There are times where I think we have to make decisions based on information that may not be readily available to the community and the students. But in this case, this event really belongs to the students and their families. So it's pretty overwhelming, and I certainly understand the convenience of having it on campus. I thought they went great. I really do. I think it's great for the community, but every community is different. And so at Colton, it better be at Colton High Memorial Stadium.
And they spoke loud and clear a few years ago when we did a survey there.
Right. And that's okay, because for that community to be able to sit in that stadium and say, I graduated here, my kids graduated here, my grandkids are graduating from here, and that's beautiful. So in this case, yeah, I think it's pretty clear the community wants to do it at San Manuel, and this is an opportunity to get a good deal. So at least for this year, it sounds like it makes sense. Yeah. If we can lock that in for a multi-year, that might be nice, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Are we going to go for a consensus then?
Yeah, I think, I agree with what Dan said. This is a big deal to kids, and maybe the biggest deal for some of our kids that they'll ever have, going to the stadium, being on the stage. And so I can say the community has spoken, so can we get consensus as to where we want it? Pat, I know Pat wants 66.
66ers is fine for me.
Okay,
All right.
66 it is.
So we will come back with an action item in the next couple board meetings with a contract for that. So thank you very much. I
Dr.
appreciate
Ortiz,
your
are you going to be
time.
available? Thank you. All right, thank you very
And
much.
now I'll turn it over to Dr. Moody.
Again, good evening, Board President Thornhill Hayda, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, members of Executive Cabinet, and members of the audience. Tonight, Lauren Tyler, Curriculum Program Specialist, and I will be presenting on the new Ethnic Studies requirements. To be a little more specific, tonight we're going to highlight the Ethnic Studies model curriculum, review the Ethnic Studies new high school graduation requirements, and discuss our CJUSD professional development opportunities. We're going to begin with reviewing of the Ethnic Studies model curriculum provided by the state to assist school districts in their development of an Ethnic Studies course. So in 2016, Assembly Bill 2016 mandated the development and adoption of an Ethnic Studies model curriculum. The aim of the Ethnic Studies model curriculum is to empower students by highlighting the historical struggles and contributions of Native Americans, African Americans, Latino, Latina, Latinx Americans, Asian Americans, while also promoting discussions about ethnic heritage and legacies of students within their communities. The model curriculum was adopted by the State Board of Education in March of 2021 and offers guidance for teachers and administrators who are developing ethnic studies courses. Specifically, I want to point out that it provides examples of how collective social action can lead to a more equitable and just society.
Good evening. We will now review the Ethnic Studies graduation requirements addressed in Assembly Bill 101. The Ethnic Studies Bill mandates that school districts in grades 9 through 12 offer a course of study in ethnic studies. Starting with the graduating class of the 2029-30 school year, completion of a one-semester ethnic studies course meeting specific requirements will be a graduation requirement, with districts required to begin offering the course by the 2025-2026 school year. Assembly Bill 101 allows students to use the ethnic studies course to fulfill an existing graduation requirement in subjects like history, social science, or English. It stipulates that ethnic studies should be the primary content through which the course is taught. And while it can be based on the state-adopted model curriculum, this is not a mandatory requirement. Students can fulfill the ethnic studies graduation requirement through various options, including a course based on the state-developed model curriculum in ethnic studies, an existing ethnic studies course, an ethnic studies course integrated into a curriculum meeting specific requirements, or a locally developed ethnic studies course approved by the school district's governing board. These options offer flexibility in meeting the ethnic studies mandate. Assembly Bill 101 specifies that old drafts of the model curriculum should not be used and encourages the use of up-to-date content. Additionally, if a school district plans to adopt a locally developed course, the bill mandates a two-step approval process by the local governing board, allowing for public input during the decision-making process. Assembly Bill 101 requires that the curriculum, instruction, and instructional materials in ethnic studies be inclusive and appropriate for all students, regardless of their diverse backgrounds, abilities, or orientations. It prohibits any form of bias, bigotry, or discrimination, and explicitly states that religious doctrine should not be taught or promoted within the curriculum.
So we have a few more slides, but we want to just take a moment to see if any of the board members had questions regarding the model curriculum or AB 101 that we can answer.
I have one. It said here, we can either have a curriculum that's already available or one that we will be putting together. At this point, what do we think we'll be doing? Do we know? Or is that going to be a committee decision?
Yes, we are actually, and that's going to be part of the presentation as we continue. We're going to be developing a committee. No, you're fine. Developing a committee to go through that determining process of if we're going to develop our own course or use an existing course that's already been approved.
But whatever we do, the teachers will have materials that they're going to need to teach this. They don't have to go out and find their own.
Yes, we'll be providing them with adopted materials.
Oh, Mr. Ibarra.
Just a quick question, just wondering, will the state be putting out an adopted book in this subject area?
They have not put out a specific adopted book because they're allowing for that flexibility for the local LEAs, but there are already approved curriculums that are out there that can be used. So, for example, there are districts that have already gone through the process of having a course, an ethics studies course approved by UC Doorways, and they have selected course material. So those are things that have already been adopted that could be utilized as well.
Okay, so are we looking into possibly taking a look at those adopted curriculums that other districts are using, just to maybe as a baseline or to see if it fits our culture here?
That is correct. And that committee that I'm going to speak to in the next couple of slides are going to go through that process.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Flores?
Sure, and this may be addressed in the next slides. Just curious, sort of who will teach? This is relatively new. Who will teach this? So does this fall under, typically at secondary, we have folks with single subject credentials. Is this going to fall within a particular subject area? Are folks going to have to receive additional credentialing, training to be able to teach this since it's relatively new?
So it is landing more in the history, social sciences. Okay. However, with the flexibility of having a course that you can have in the English language arts arena, but the ethnic studies is driving the actual course, that could also be a possibility.
is that something then that we could also determine as we develop, whether we go with a sort of ready-made curriculum or our own, could we then kind of design it in such a way where it may lend itself well to certain subject matter experts, if you will, certain teachers in certain fields?
That is part of the decision that will be part of that committee as we look at other adopted curriculums that are already out there.
Just wanted to, now that you mentioned who's going to be teaching it, will the California Teaching Credential Program or department be updating the requirements?
And currently, right now, it's history, social science, but you can, again, depending upon how you write the course, so a teacher with an English credential could teach the course as long as what we're trying to do is provide additional professional development so that they understand that the ethnic studies has to drive the course that we would be developing.
Any other question? Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
So I'm going to have Mrs. Tyler continue.
Yes.
I think I skipped one. Yeah, I'll pick it back up. Okay. Participation in ethnic studies has shown increased student achievement, intellectual engagement, and academic skills. There is evidence that students exposed to ethnic studies curriculum have higher GPAs, higher attendance, higher test scores, and higher graduation rates. What you see here from the ethnic studies model curriculum describes helping students see themselves as active agents and part of the narrative of the United States. Ethnic studies is an interdisciplinary field focused on examining the experiences of people of color in the United States. It addresses various power structures and forms of oppression, emphasizing their social, emotional, cultural, economic, and political impacts. Additionally, it highlights the significant contributions made by people of color across diverse fields such as government, politics, the arts, medicine, and economics. The goal of ethnic studies is to affirm students' identities, and it fosters a sense of belonging within society. It brings students and communities together while equipping students with the skills needed for meaningful conversations about race and contributing to the promotion of equality and justice. Ethnic studies benefit students by providing them with a deeper understanding of their own cultural identities and histories, fostering a greater sense of belonging and self-worth. It also equips them with critical thinking and analytical skills necessary for engaging in discussions about race, diversity, and social justice, empowering them to be active and informed participants in their communities and society at large. Additionally, research suggests that ethnic studies programs can positively impact academic performance and long-term educational and career outcomes for students. One example from Tucson, Arizona, showed students who entered the Mexican American Studies program with achievement scores lower than their peers by 12th grade had attained significantly higher test scores and graduation rates compared to their peers who did not participate in the Mexican American Studies program. The more courses they took, the stronger their achievement. This is just one example of many that show better outcomes for students enrolled in ethnic studies courses.
So the last portion of our presentation, we're going to discuss our professional development opportunities in our district. So this school year, we have over 50 teachers and educators who are taking classes to earn their ethnic studies certificate through UCR, or the University of California, Riverside. We're also, an ethnic studies committee will also be formed for the purpose of developing an ethnic studies course for Colton Joint Unified School District. The plan is for the course to be piloted next school year and officially rolled out to all high schools in the 2025-26 school year. The Colton Joint Unified School District Ethnic Studies Committee will be composed of representatives from various backgrounds and roles, including tribal members, political members, electeds, administrators, parents, representatives from DLAC and APAC, students, teachers, ACE, and district representation as well. The committee's purpose is to collaborate and develop and recommend a framework for ethnic studies in Colton Joint Unified School District. We're also presenting a similar presentation at Community Cabinet on October 25th at Joe Baca Middle School. The committee will play a pivotal role in preserving the rich history of our Colton Joint Unified School District community by actively participating in cultural historiography. The goal and reason for having a committee is to provide valuable recommendations for the design and curriculum of our ethnic studies program, ensuring that it reflects the diverse and meaningful experiences that have shaped our community's history. Through our dedicated efforts, we aim to create an inclusive and engaging educational experience that truly represents the unique tapestry of our Colton Joint Unified School District community. I want to publicly thank my co-presenter, Lauren, for her work on this project and on this endeavor, and we will answer any questions that you may have at this point.
Mrs. Flores.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you, Lauren, and Dr. Mooney for the great presentation. I really appreciate it. I know that the requirements won't be in effect until 2029, 2030, but I really appreciate you bringing this to us now and sharing what your plans are. I like the idea of front-loading us so that we are with you every step of the way, and hopefully you can visit us and keep us updated on these things. I had a question about the Curriculum Council, the Secondary Curriculum Council. What role do they play?
So as we go through the formal adoption process, we will have, like we've done with everything else, is we'll bring our teachers together to write curriculum, but that will be then reviewed by our Secondary Curriculum Council. That will then come to approval for the Board of Education for any course or curriculum materials that we'll be utilizing. Okay. But they'll be part of that process as well.
Okay. Also, you know, myself and I know my fellow board members, we celebrate diversity in this district. The greatest gift that our kids bring is that to us is their diversity. So it's very exciting to see this come to fruition. So I really appreciate it. So thank you for the presentation, and we're looking forward to updates.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. Any other comments or questions? I have one, Eric. There was one of your slides said there is a certificate program at UCR. Will that be a requirement for someone to have if they have an English or social studies credential, or is that going to cover it, or do they have to have that as well?
So we have started the process of just trying to educate and provide opportunities for professional development, not having it as a requirement to teach the class. But however, for those who are developing the course and working to develop the course, to have that knowledge and understanding of what ethnic studies is. It is an interesting course that I'm also in as well with Lauren and those other members of our district. And I think we are definitely growing in our knowledge as we go through the course, and we're seeing even in the threads, the chat threads that are part of the course, that growth in understanding around developing a solid ethnic studies course and what it's intended for.
So they don't necessarily have to have a certificate, but they will be participating in other ways of learning or getting the information they need.
Absolutely. So if a teacher wants to teach the course, that'll be a decision, of course, that's left to the site principal as they're building their master schedules. Okay. And but we are still providing that professional learning, those opportunities. We'll continue to do that. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Ibarra.
Just curious question. I think I'm full of them today. Thank you, first of all, for your presentation, because it's exciting to hear that we're headed in that direction and going to be able to offer our students the opportunity not only to engage in these type of course, but also share with other fellow students and teachers backgrounds and information, because I know that diversity is, we learn from that. We definitely do. My question is that since it's going to be required, a graduation requirement, I don't know how much you've heard, but have you heard anything? Would this curriculum also be required for individuals who are going to have to, or choose to take the GED? Is that going to be incorporated? Is it going to be a subject area for the GED? Have you heard anything on that?
You know what, Mr. Ibarra, I would have to get back to the board with that and board correspondence. But it is, again, with the graduation requirement, if a student is not meeting those graduation requirements, I think the equivalent is part of an assessment, it's an examination that students can actually attain. So I'm not sure if that's going to be part of that, but I can get back to you on that as we work with our adult ed and kind of looking at.
And that's what I'm thinking, if it's going to be incorporated in the curriculum in preparation to take the test, are we also going to have to take a look at some of our instructors there to be able to get some of that training you were mentioning?
That's a very good question. I would have to get back to you in board.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, the theme is, this is exciting for sure. I think you've heard that from all of us, and it is exciting. What's exciting is not only the content of what's going to be taught, I believe, but this really is, this interdisciplinary approach is really what you get in college, right? So we're talking about presenting this curriculum in a way that's going to really expose students to a new way of thinking and analyzing and looking and asking questions about the world around them. So whether it's through a historical lens, a literary lens, one of the things that you do and when you're challenged, and some of the best courses that I remember even as a young undergraduate, was looking at moments of time through the lens of communities of culture. They often say history is written by the winners of wars, which I think is absolutely true. But that doesn't mean there were other perspectives available at the time. They typically don't make their way into traditional history books, and we're changing all of that, and we're looking at things. So that part of it, exposing our students to a really college-level education and pedagogy, is really cool. But I have a challenge I'd like to issue to the committee, to principals are not here because they had to run off to football games, but I'm sure there'll be lots of opportunities to teach this through kind of more traditional lenses of like history, social science, even English and literature. But boy, if we could find a really brave teacher in the performing arts that wanted to take on the opportunity to develop some kind of curriculum through the lens of music, of course, poetry and literature, but when you look at the history of various cultures and communities, they all have artistic expressions. And can you imagine teaching that through the lens of music, dance, any kind of level of performing arts? How cool would that be, right? And to culminate maybe in some kind of a performance. So it's just exciting to know that we're going to be talking about things like the Harlem Renaissance or Mexican muralism in the early 20th century, the whole host of Native American, which gets it's undervalued here in California and underappreciated, the historical impact that Native Americans have had and continue to have. So anyway, I could go on, but I would love to see if we could challenge somebody out there who has more of a performing arts or art background to say, man, I want to take that on and see if we can develop something through that track.
And Mr. Flores, you'll be happy to hear that we did open it up to all secondary teachers, and we have a variety of teachers from all different walks that are, as far as disciplines, that are taking the ethnic studies course at UCR. So we're hoping that through that level of professional learning, that they will come back and infuse those qualities into their curriculums as well.
This is a side note, I'd love to see it through the lens of food and the culinary aspect. I mean, I'm a foodie, right? And in another life, I would be Anthony Bourdain and travel the world. But there's truth in that, right? If you can't, and as he said, if you can't go to somebody else's country and community, at least eat their food. And through that, experience a piece of their, and food is universal. We all have food, dishes, and a tradition of cooking that speaks to our culture. So, those are the opportunities, even through our culinary arts program at Colton that we're developing. So I just think that the opportunities are really cool, much more exciting than maybe we had when we were in high school in many ways. But that's awesome. That's what we want for our kids, so.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. Oh, Mrs. Harrell.
I wasn't going to say anything because my colleagues kind of all covered all the different, but you brought up through the performing arts. I know at Bloomington High School there is a music history class, and I know that he does go into a lot of depth with all the different, a lot of the different cultures. So that would be, not trying to volunteer him or anything, but but I mean that would be the kind of the avenue you're looking at, but a little bit more in depth. But it is possible because I've seen it. So yeah.
Thank you. I have one more comment. I think about students, and a lot of kids go to school and don't necessarily feel a part of something. And when I think about a student hearing about his or her culture, and it hasn't been recognized or really shown any importance before, what I believe will do to his self-esteem, and it'll validate that person more and his family more. And that has to make a positive impact on his or her life at school and within his family as well. So I'm really excited to hear this. I think it's important. And I'm with Dan. I think what a wonderful idea if we could incorporate everything. But, baby steps and we'll get there, I hope. But this is wonderful. Thank you very much for the presentation. You did a really good job, and it's exciting to know that we're making these changes. I know they're mandated, but we're doing a great job here. And I appreciate all the hard work and effort you did in your presentation tonight.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item action session. Item 7.1 through 7.31. Is there anyone who would like an item to be considered separately? Okay. I'll ask for a motion to approve action items 7.1 through 7.31 with the exception of 7.30, which was withdrawn at the adoption of the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion by Board Member Haro and a second by Board Member Bertha Flores to approve action items 7.1 through 7.31 with the exception of 7.30, which was withdrawn at the adoption of the agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Nay. Any abstentions? So on the motion by Board Member Haro and seconded by Board Member Bertha Flores, carried on a 7-0 vote, the board approved action items 7.1 through 7.31 with the exception of 7.30, which was withdrawn at the adoption of the agenda. We're now at 8.0 administrative reports. For administrative reports 8.1 to 8.3, are there any questions or comments from board members? None? We have approved disbursements. Item 8.2, approved change order for 900 Washington Suite 100 Professional Learning Center Boardroom Project for Board Resolution 2374. And item 8.3, approved change order for Grand Terrace High School Auditorium, Gym, and Cafe Roofing Replacement Project for Board Resolution 2374. Item 8.4, Facilities Update. Director Chang, would you come forward to present?
Good evening, Board President Joey Thorian-Hada, board members, and Superintendent Miranda, member of the public. I'm pleased to provide a brief update on some of our exciting projects that's happening. Next slide, please. All right, first up, Crestmore Elementary curb appeal ADA upgrade. We're just about a couple weeks from completing the project. Upper right-hand corner is the original rendering, and some of the bottom ones are the construction and the progress. You can see a lot of the construction elements are start taking form. We have the seat wall, seat area that's taking place, and all the concrete has been poured. So one of the kind of, in addition to the kind of the functional feature of the seating area, the architect also incorporated some of the fun element within the center of the kind of oval-shaped seating area. He actually designed kind of like a human sundial. So not only becomes a functional space, but we're also trying to make it a little educational component as well as a little bit of fun as well. So that project's going well. We're hoping to finish that up before the end of this month. Next slide, please. All right, Granters High School Elementary fire alarm upgrade is substantially complete. So we're just doing some punch list item and some staff training. So we're happy to be able to complete that over the summer break. As well as the Lions Club building, we were able to successfully finishing getting the building demolished over the summer break, and architects continue to work on the engineering drawings. So hopefully we'll be able to submit that to Division State Architect for review in a few months. This just shows one of the color renderings that the architect provided, what that parking area will look like at the corner of Barton and Vivienda. Next slide, please. All right, Colton High School CT Culinary Arts Building. It's been underway for about a month. So right now we're just in the abatement and demolition phase, or things are going relatively well, and so we'll continue to keep the board abreast of our progress. Next slide, please. All right, at Ruth Grimes Elementary, we're at the phase one of some of the projects that we have planned. Phase one is being the shade shelter and the modular toilet building addition that's under construction. We're anticipating the project will be finished by around December of January for completion date. Also, the second phase of the Ruth Grime is the TK Kinder classroom addition. Just like many public agencies and programs, there's never short of the acronyms, so it looks like little Scrabble tiles. So I thought I'd have a little fun. A lot of the agency we have are acronyms or programs and so forth. So this is one, it's a funding program that we apply for with the state allocation. And next slide, please. So although I've seen that acronym for about 20 times, I still need my cheat sheet to make sure I can say it correctly and what that stands for. So that acronym stands for California Preschool Transitional Kindergarten and Full Day Kindergarten Facility Grant Program. So don't make me say that 3 times. So that is actually a competitive program that's in place for a couple cycles. We've actually submitted our application twice, and unfortunately it's very competitive. Like I mentioned, work with Dr. Hyder and identifying schools, and the program is very, just like many programs, there's really limited funding for the needs out there, and a lot of the school districts are just really fortunate just to get one school or one project to qualify. So I'm pleased to report to the board that last week at the state allocation board we received a little bit over $4 million of state matching fund for Grimes Elementary that will allow us to add about 5 classroom TK kinder classroom at the Grimes Elementary. So we're excited about this receiving the grant, and looking forward to providing a much needed improvement at Grimes Elementary. So a little bit of good news to share. All right, next slide, please. All right, next slide, just some update on Professional Learning Center and boardroom at the 900 Washington building. We're getting close to the finish line, about 95% complete. been working closely with IT and Director Boyce and getting all the system programmed and acclimated, and there's a lot of technology heavy with all the training and cameras and technology. So very excited to get that coming to a close on that. So probably need about another month or so to kind of get all the systems up and running and all the furniture delivered. So the goal is having the first board meeting come New Year in January 2024. These are some of the slides, and left is the main training space. On the right-hand side, some of the other support spaces. And bottom, again, this is really very kind of training. Everything's geared toward training. This is one of the kind of breakout space with some technology wall for the space that we have designed. Next slide, please. Again, just some additional photos and of some of the training space, also the support spaces. We have ample space, conference room. They also can double as some additional large training space. And on the upper left-hand corner, that's actually one of my favorite space. It's actually the main district server room. So part of the phase of this project, we provide some of the infrastructure that will eventually house the district main server room. So it's pretty cool. It's probably just the equipment alone is probably larger than many apartment in New York. So next slide, please. Just other projects that we're actively working on, ESSER projects. We're working with multiple departments from security, IT, M&O purchasing, and the procurement with the integrator for a security camera at 28 campuses. We also just had a kickoff meeting for the PE pavilion at Terrace Hill Middle School, and we have a kickoff meeting scheduled next week for the Colton Middle School as well. And also earlier tonight, the board awarded a contract allow us to do some window replacement, much needed. Several schools like Wilson and Lewis and a couple other campuses, so we're excited to get that underway as well. And then bottom, we have the American Rescue Plan Act, which are the field and lighting addition and infield renovation at Bloomington High School, along with the foul ball netting. When we solicited the architectural services, we grouped that together to kind of get the benefit of kind of efficiency of scale. So we're able to have that kickoff meeting with the staff. We also did a community meeting outreach just to share with the parents on what the things that are planned for that campus. So we're excited to get that underway as well. So, and this concludes my update. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Owen. It amazes me every time you come up and speak to us. You just present so many things that, and it always looks like you're doing an amazing job for us. So we appreciate that. Any comments?
Very serious question.
Oh, Dan has a
Very serious question about the Learning Center and boardroom. Do we have a place for the clock? So
we
that
have
clock has
plenty
been
of space
in
for
every
that
boardroom. We don't know where it came from. I don't think we exactly know why it's here, but it has been in every boardroom since the dawn of Colton Joint Unified School District. So just saying. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Owen,
there is a
that's your
history to this
assignment. You
clock.
gotta bring it.
Yeah, we should. There you go.
That's really been an all meeting? Okay, well, good
Oh, and
luck,
I think
Owen.
there's a room right next to the dais,
We'll be
right?
looking for it.
Yes, yes. Yep, we can do that.
Any other questions? Nothing? It's pretty exciting when I see all the things that we're doing. It's like amazing. You've been busy, but this is great. Okay, thank you very much.
All right,
I guess
thank you.
there's no other questions. Item 8.5, ACE update. President Barachi.
I actually never even noticed the clock, so. Good evening, Board President Torin Ojeda, Board Member Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and member of the audience. I've been trying not to make the meetings longer, so usually I don't speak, but I was told that I should start speaking again, so here I am. As you know, it's October. I don't know the year. It wasn't by Frank. um, we are finishing first quarter. It seems like it's fast, but this is a long stretch. Grades and progress reports are due on Friday, October 6th. Teachers are getting ready for parent-teacher conferences, so we still have a long way to go until the next break. So we do see some people getting tired, and I'm not going to say the bad word because I don't want to frustrate Tina, but it's still with us, and it's still stressing a lot of people. As you know, I always speak about bargaining. It's still going on. Our bargaining team is meeting, and they are making progress, and I'm hoping that the board is giving the district bargaining team a directive, hopefully after October 15, on how we can finish with money and be done by December, by spring break, by Christmas break, before we go in vacation December 15th. So I'm hoping that will be done, and Pat Harrow will be happy that we'll, in the same year. Sorry, I'm picking on everybody today. See, if I don't have much to say, I can pick on all of you now. All right, with that, thank you very much. Have a good night, and I'll see you next board meeting.
Thank you. CSCA update, is President Guatemala here to present? Oh. MAC update, Tiffany Davis.
Good evening, Board President Thorian Ojeda, the board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. I also do not want to make this meeting any longer, but somehow the person that takes notes of the meeting ended up speaking. So here is our MAC update. We're going to make it nice and quick. Could I have the next slide, please? Here's some upcoming events. There we go. Some upcoming events. We have our tailgating event over at the BHS and CHS game. It's this Thursday at 7 o'clock. Members, if you guys check in, you'll get a nice little goodie bag. And then we are so excited. It was a really big turnout last year, so we're looking to have a good turnout again this year. Next Saturday on the 14th, we are going to Mount Rubidoux. If you would like to come, you can bring your family and your friends. We're going to start the hike at 8 o'clock, and it should take probably a couple of hours, go all the way up and all the way back down. Next slide, please. This month is Kindness Month. These are pictures from last year from across the district of the school's kindness festivities. And we also have the week of the school administrator. So thank you to the executive cabinet for providing lunch for some of our staff members. We appreciate it very much. Next slide, please. We have met our goal this year. We had a goal of having 60 members to help with different fund costs and also providing different scholarships. And we met that goal. We got 61 members. If you are still would like to come, we would like for you to reach out to Amber Duran. But do that so quickly because we want your membership dues to go for the entire year. So don't wait till the last two months of school because then you're going to have to pay dues again next year, and we don't want to do that. And then we also did order all of our shirts. So for all of our MAC members, keep an eye out. Your shirt should be here soon. Next slide, please. These are our legislative updates that we are expecting this school year or within the next couple of years. The first three are all about inclusive education, and they're focusing on our students who identify as LGBTQ+. And so there's three different bills that are coming from there. In the second column, or in the second section, is our teacher pipeline, which is helping to eliminate the teacher shortage by having teachers who have retired, making it an easier pathway to come back into the classroom. And the bottom is all about student wellness. So these are looking at things like health, medical bills, looking at different meals to reduce sodium and sugar in our meals at school. We're also looking at bus transportation to make sure that everything that we are putting the kids on is safe. And then we are also looking at suspensions and expulsions, making sure that we exclude things like falling asleep, because we know that students who are falling asleep, especially at the older grades, are either taking care of their families or having jobs that they're also working with. So those are our legislative updates. Next slide, please. And lastly, We do not have an update right now for equity. That should come probably within our next meeting. So thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you very much. Okay, item 8.8, ROP update. Pat?
No meeting next week.
Okay. That brings us to item 9.1, Superintendent's communique.
Good evening, Board President, Board members, and members of the audience. A short communique, try to speed this up here. So we'll start with the first slide this evening. This is another invitation to our first community cabinet. So this is an invitation to all community and staff. And I say this sincerely, dear community members and staff, please come. We're excited to invite all you to the first community cabinet meeting for the 23-24 school year. The date's October 25th, location Joe Baca Middle School. Join us as we kick off the year and explore how CJUSD is committed to prioritizing students by implementing equitable practices district-wide. The event will feature student-led activities, professional networking opportunities, and a presentation, as you heard tonight, on the new ethnic studies requirement. So we encourage you to attend and bring a friend to connect with the local community. We look forward to all of your participation. Next slide, please. All right, so Career Technical Education Partnership is an invitation to all public and local businesses. We extend a warm invitation to all members of the public and our valued local businesses to join us at the CTE Student Expo on Thursday, October 12th, starting at 5 p.m. Career Technical Education plays a pivotal role, in meeting workforce demands. So CRIROP really does an excellent job, and CRIROP ROP does a great job preparing our students for both college and careers, contributing to the development of a stronger workforce for the present and future. So we are immensely thankful for the strong partnerships between our district and CRIROP, which enables us to offer more opportunities to our students. If anybody needs more information, please don't hesitate to reach out to us and our incredible CTE department. We hope to see you at the expo. And then the last slide is mentioned, National Bullying Prevention Month. So October marks National Bullying Prevention Month, a time when our school sites are actively engaged in various bullying prevention lessons, activities, and events, not only throughout October, but also year-round. We would like to highlight that this year, Unity Day falls on Wednesday, October 18th. Once again, we're proud to introduce the Kindness Bus, a project decorated by our talented, or a bus, that's a project that gets decorated by our talented high school students, which will travel throughout the district, spreading the crucial message of kindness, inclusion, and acceptance. We want to extend our heartfelt thanks to Student Services and our dedicated transportation department for leading this important initiative for our students. Let us all come together and actively promote kindness, inclusion, and acceptance in our community during National Bullying Prevention Month. So with that, that's my communique this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Miranda. Item 10.1, board member comments. Mrs. Harrell?
Can you pick somebody else? And then I'll come back.
Okay, we'll go on to board member Sandoval. No? Mrs. Flores?
No comment.
Okay. Mr. Fuentes?
Thank you, Board President. I always have a little comment or something to say. Was at the Bloomington High School choral concert last night, and wow, what a phenomenal concert that was. 8 weeks in, and these students sang awesome. And at the end, the final one, it was both the kids that have been there for a while and the newbies. They got together and they did the final. And it was, you couldn't tell there was new kids in there. And it was awesome to hear. And I want to thank Doctor, I'm going to call him Doctor now, Mr. Duckworth, for all his efforts, his passion, his love to the performing arts. And if you have not visited the auditorium on the outside, they did some artwork. And it's actual silhouettes of students from Bloomington High School. And as you walk in honor of the best performing arts teachers that we have, there's a silhouette of Mr. Duckworth standing there with the thing. So if you get an opportunity to head out to Bloomington High School, check it out. It looks really cool. And then they actually put the name of Vivian, Miss Edwards, up there also. I mean, they did a phenomenal job. So if you get an opportunity, I did post some, oh, there's a picture right there on the screen. I think Pat was going to share that. I'm sorry, Pat, but I got excited. I get excited when things like that happen. So I just wanted to say thank you. I want to thank the ladies that were here today from Bloomington High School and the presentation that they did. And let's continue to work together, because like we've all said many times, it takes a village. It takes a village to teach these kids, and we want these kids to succeed and become those successful law enforcement officers, attorneys, whatever they're going to do in life. We want them to do that. We actually want them to come back and teach here in our district. So thank you. Have a great one. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fuentes. Board Member Flores. No? Mr. Ibarra.
Just a couple comments. I also want to start off by just thanking Bloomington High School and the ASB representatives for the report today. Also, as we were listening to Owen's presentation, something came to mind. And as we start to complete some of our projects, I'm hoping that we can starting to think about maybe doing some kind of grand opening for these projects. Grand Terrace Elementary School, it comes to mind as one of them, because it took a while for us to get that going, and that turnabout and what's going to be the drop-off, it's going to be big for that area, as we all know. Bloomington High School, I'm just picking a few out of many. When Bloomington High School baseball field is completed, you know, we did get that big donation. That'd be nice to do a grand opening for that, as well as, of course, our new opening of our building at the beginning of the year, so that the community and the public staff can participate and attend, you know, as we start to celebrate some of these accomplishments that we do, you know, within Colton Joint Unified School District. Prior to Jerry leaving, him and I took a drive around the district, and we were looking at all the different sites, talking about the fact that when we both started here at Colton Joint Unified School District, how different the district looked, and how it's improved over the years. Some of the projects that we did, the David Zamora Math and Science Wing as an example, all our multi-purpose facilities, our fields, the improvement in elementary schools, working toward our middle schools, et cetera. And, you know, he was telling me how pleased he felt, even though he was on the hesitant side to leave, the fact that, you know, he was leaving and he could see some of the visual accomplishments that we were able to do. And he was talking about we, himself, the board, prior superintendents, individuals like Owen, who, you know, were able to improve the district and how it looks now. And we continue to do that in such a way that I think it's impressive. I think what we've been able to accomplish over the years, and, you know, I could say years because everybody knows I've been here for a while, but, you know, I think about all the board members, present and past, who had their hand in making sure that our students had the best educational environments that we could possibly provide them over these years. And we continue to work toward that. So I think that it's important for us to celebrate anytime we do something, open something new. So I just wanted to make sure that we are thinking in that direction so that, you know, we can celebrate it. So that's what I want to just talk about real quickly. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ibarra. Mrs. Howard, do you want to do it now?
No, I can do now. Okay. I just wanted, in the last couple of months, I've had the pleasure of going with Dr. Angle, our CRIROP superintendent, visiting each of our 3 high schools and the ROP programs that are there. And he wanted to see each of the classes firsthand. And yesterday was the last of the 3 schools. It was Bloomington High School. Thank you for Ms. Peterson for joining us. And he was very impressed with the veterinary class. They were working on dogs and cats, and they even had the cutest little pig in there that we were all enamored with. And so, but he was very impressed with that class. He agreed with me that I keep harping, and I know it's not our fault, but the building is so small. The automotive class, that one is, there is such a demand for that class at Bloomington High School. There's a waiting list for, so it's a mile long for that class, and they can't get any more kids in there. And so he was surprised at how small that area was compared to Colton's, how nice theirs was. But he enjoyed the visits, enjoyed visiting all the classes. He got to see our virtual enterprise. They were already practicing and picking their names. And Ms. Peterson even got to pretend like she got contaminated with the infectious disease and had to, and her gloves that she put on ripped. So, so she failed. No, but I did. Mr. Fuentes brought up the murals at Bloomington High School, and I wanted to talk about them because it's really, it's not just, they're not just murals. So the first one there is the auditorium, and you can see the different silhouettes on it. And I want to tell you who these people are, because these are actual silhouettes of students who have been to Bloomington High School and done something in the performing arts. So the first one is a lighting technician. Her name is Jennifer Gonzalez. She's already graduated college, and she's a professional lighting tech in Hollywood. The second one is actress Jennifer Pedroza. The next one is singer Melissa Moran. She graduated. She's the mariachi, the third one over, and she's the mariachi that sang at last year at the superintendent's showcase for San Bernardino County. The news anchor is Lyndon Ramirez. He graduated Bloomington High School during the pandemic. The camera tech is Micah Martinez, who also works in television, and he's a camera tech for a news program. The trumpet player is Moises Ortiz. He's a professional Grammy Award-winning mariachi, and he, so that is Moises, and the dancer is Mitzi Rodriguez. Okay, the next one. And then there is they needed to put an orchestra or someone, so they put Mr. Duckworth there. And then the last one is, this is our marching band. And this is, all the names on here I apologize, my notes here. We have, every one of these is a past student who has gone into music field in one way or another. And starting from the far end, we have Mia Garcia, we have Avery Castro, Sofia Folder, Gerardo Aranda, Cristobal Delgadillo, Angel Violina, Oscar Avanda, Susie Mora, Kimberly Franco, Leilani Chagola, and Andreas Rodriguez. So all of these silhouettes were not just put there just to make it look pretty. They were actually honoring students who have graduated and moved on with doing something in the performing arts. So I think it's really exciting with all that we are doing now with the money that we are being, that from the passage of the bill, and performing arts is important. And this just shows what it does for our students. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Mrs. Harrell. That's really cool. Myself, I have two things tonight. One, I recognize and appreciate and send kudos to all of our staff for listening to the board and recognizing that attendance is such an important thing for us. And you've proven to us that you understand that because of the amazing increase in student attendance in our report that we got tonight. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I know all the board members here too, because you listen to us, but you've given these kids a possibility for a better future. They're in school, they're learning, they're developing relationships, they're learning how to be better citizens, and hopefully on their way to having a better future for themselves. So thank you, and please keep up the great work, because I know that takes a lot to put all that extra energy and focus on it, but it's paid off, and I do appreciate that, and I know my fellow board members do as well. My second item is, I'm reflecting back on my life with it being in education and how important it's always been to me. And tonight seems to be Bloomington High School's night. The kids did a great job. I think, remember my grandson being one of the speakers years ago. And my granddaughter graduated from Bloomington. She's over at Bloomington High School tonight at the football game because our youngest member of the family, my 6-year-old, who will be a Bruin down the road, is one of the little, what are they, baby Bruins or tiny Bruins out doing cheers tonight. So I'm really excited because Colton has had a huge impact in my family, and I think I shouldn't do that, but it means a lot to me because they've gotten so much from this district, and it's because of people like you. So with that, we are going to close session. evaluation. There were 2 student discipline items presented in closed session. Is there a motion to uphold the expulsion orders as presented? Who is that? Fuentes? Second? So I have a motion by Board Member Fuentes and Mrs. Flores to uphold the expulsion orders as presented. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So on a motion by Board Member Fuentes and seconded by Bertha Flores, on a 7-0 vote, the board upheld the expulsion orders of 2 student discipline items as presented, 1050689, 1045545. Next item, 12.2, personnel public employee appointment. On a motion by Board Member Fuentes and seconded by Board Member Haro and carried on a 7-0 vote, the board approved the following. Certificated coaches 1, varsity football assistant boys. Certificated regular staff 1, art teacher. Classified management 1, fiscal services manager. Classified coaches 8, cross-country assistant co-ed, head junior varsity basketball boys, head junior varsity softball girls, head varsity baseball boys, head varsity basketball boys, junior varsity football assistant boys, varsity football assistant boys 2. Volunteer coaches 4, baseball boys, soccer girls, wrestling co-ed, volunteers general 20. 12.3, personnel public employee appointment. In closed session on a motion by Board Member Fuentes and seconded by Board Member Ibarra on a 7-0 vote, the board appointed the following. Seema Singhal, Assistant Principal, Bloomington High School. Item 12.4, personnel public employee performance evaluation title, Superintendent. In closed session on a motion by Board Member Fuentes and seconded by Board Member Ibarra and carried on a 6-1-0 vote, the board approved the superintendent's 2023 evaluation as presented. Haro abstention. No, I'm sorry. No, sorry. And with that, good night, have a good weekend. And we are going to sign